Hey, once again, on behalf of Mark, Jenna, the entire staff here for Kings of the Hill, I want to welcome everybody here to this evening preview. Was really excited when Mark kind of decided to condense everything to one day here on Saturday to run both of the previews as well as the sale. Obviously, a sale that's been running for, I believe, we're right at 10 years now, and kind of set a precedence for sales and live events, and truly do appreciate everybody's loyalty to the sale, both from a consigner standpoint and a buyer perspective. But obviously, if you look around ringside, the results speak for itself. I think you're going to see a set of pigs here. I know we've been selling pigs, and kind of this season continues to drag on. I believe the first pig sale or live offering was the middle of July. And so things start early, they go hard and fast, and everybody gets a little bit wore out. But I know even at home for us, there's still some gaps that we need to fill. And I believe that what you're going to see from a bear perspective, both in breeds and sizes, things that could fit a wide array of endpoints, a wide array of goals there. And I think almost a prime time to kind of get them bought. Obviously, there'll be some board prospects sprinkled in and some elite gilts there as well. So again, we're going to go ahead and kick off the preview here. I believe Yantis will be first. This is going to be tag 100, as we said. So again, as we kick things off, tag 100 from Yantis. Brandon Yantis brings us a Chester Barrow. He is already castrated here. Chester Barrow, tag 100. He's out of cheat code back on a WD-40 sow. Cheat code is the full sib to the champion Chester and third overall gilt at the Expo in 24 that his boys showed, and an absolutely phenomenal female, the one that I would remember for a very, very long time. The WD-40 sow is actually the shite gilt from the same summer that was reserved Chester and fourth overall at the exposition. She was also grand overall at CPS, champion Chester and third overall at Louisville there as well. And so we've got a castrated male from a firm there that no matter what breed we go, but particularly in the Chester breed, sets the standard and sets the bar very, very high for the rest of the people in the country. And honestly, kind of seems like they lead the train and everybody are following. This is a standout pig, regardless of breed, regardless of color. And I thought a phenomenal way to kick off. It wasn't necessarily planned, but I'd say if we're going to kind of line things up and say which barrow do we need to drop into the ring first to kind of kick things off at Kings of Hill 2, this would definitely be one of the top individuals there. Again, Chester Barrow. From Yantis. He's out of cheat code back on a WD-40 sow. He is tag number 100. Again, we'll continue through the launch per breeder here, and as I said, regardless of breed, regardless of color, an individual in Brandon Yantis that understands how to put genetics together, understands what they need to look like in each breed, but more so at the very highest level. In fact, he brings a spot here a few years ago. One of the first spot barrows to win an overall title at a major livestock show was at the Illinois State Fair. I had the opportunity to judge that barrow, and he was grand overall. We'll read the comments. I don't know whether he's kin or not, but just from that firm there. But this is Spot Barrow, Yantis Farms here. 101 is the tag. He's sired by a Titan son back on a Big Daddy sow. The dam here was a reserve spot and third overall at CPS. Again, showed by his son. This one's way different. Wild, wild parts is what he says, and I couldn't agree more. That kind of head shape, that kind of throat latch, and more so neck attachment doesn't happen in this spotted breed to still be assembled through their front structure as correctly as this one is. He's short back, tall fronted, and long hipped. It doesn't matter what breed, that's hard to put together in the spotted deal. It's just about impossible here. Bone work is clean, footwork is right. Absolutely incredible one. I know we started with that Chester Barrow, but we've got a spot boar right here that could match that kind of quality. Again, Yantis, tag 101. Round out Brandon's trio here with a Duroc, a male pig, intact boar pig, Duroc, tag 102. Again, we're in Yantis. This one's pedigree reads all the way back on a statement day, last drop sow. The grandma here was actually deal with its sister. Really neat option, feed into marches, as he says, all the way. He's been at the back drops as many as any of them this summer. And I believe a little pig here. Obviously, we know red ones tend to grow show better than the majority of the other breeds. Regardless of size, pound for pound, this may be the absolute stoutest skulled, biggest arm, biggest bladed one they have. Dimps ribbed, still connects good. Obviously, a small pig that looks like he's probably not been down very long. He sold another real popular small one a few weeks ago at King's One. I don't know that we'd ever have one just this stout, this burly, and this robust for a pig this particular size. Again, feed him to March, fit him where he goes there as you get as you land into his end point. But again, we've got the boar option here as well. So again, Yantis, this is his final one of the trio. Tag 102, Duroc male, sired by All the Way. Next in, we've got Canal Show Pigs. Canal's first one here is lot 103. And if you'll look on your sell order, here ends up being our lot one, tag 103. He will start off. King's number 2 here. Obviously, no stranger to the top position, not only in self settings, but if you look around ringside, the number of pictures, number of big banners, that's not me telling you anything that you don't already know what Canal has brought you here. Phenomenal family, phenomenal guy, and phenomenal program here to kick things off for us tonight. This belted boar pig is out of far and wide, back on the 82-8 never before sow. You know, in that first preview, we just listed pedigree, but I was itching to say that 82-8 never before sow is the same sow that was responsible for Lead the Way and Fasten Up. So you've got a far and wide sired pig out of Lead the Way's mom and Fasten Up's mom right here. That Canal brings us again. Boar, Barrow, wherever you end up fitting, I think this one matches at the very top. He's gone to a lot of sales. The Canal firm and has topped many of them. To be quite honest with you, this may be my favorite one for the end game that he's offered here. Square built, awesome design, awesome look. Looks like a Canal show pig. Look at his bend to his rear leg, flex and give, and just feedability there. Phenomenal belted one there again. He's out of far and wide, back on Lead the Way's mama. His tag is 103. Next in from Canalth is tag 104, a Duroc female. She's out of All the Way, same as that Yantis pig that we saw there earlier. All the Way, and this one's mother is a creation. The mom raised that 4th overall Barrow at the 2025 Breeders' Cup. Mom was also a mate sister to the Dam of Outcry, as well as his son Colton's pig that was 4th overall Barrow at the Exposition. Maybe my favorite pig at Expo that year, regardless where they placed. That was a phenomenal animal there. And again, the red deal, it's neat to talk to Kyle whenever we got to make farm tours and go look at pigs. Obviously, we know the success on the crossbred side of things. I haven't just directly talked to Colton or his sons there. I think they like the red deal, and it's a different wrinkle for them. And when talking to Kyle, he maybe has just even a different air in his voice and kind of inflection there. And I can tell you the quality is phenomenal. Whether we're looking for a gilt to show at San Antonio, OYE, or laying a replacement, I think this gilt's just balance and symmetry from the side. Her balance and arrogant look that she offers there, combined with flexibility and stoutness, I think is one of those that's going to be unique there. Definitely a sell highlight. He starts the Barrow sell, but also will start that round 2 gilts with 104 Duroc female all the way. We're still on Canal. Ends up bringing a pair of gilts here from Canalth and a unique opportunity there, whether you're a breeder or show gilt enthusiast for sure. This is tag 105. The Belty crossbred gilt here is out of Ringleader, back on a play at Coulson. The Dam's mate sister was the very popular $28,000 gilt there at King's One. And so obviously a pair of females there that have generating ability. I'd say from a breeder perspective, you can glean some confidence in that. But a gilt there that I was impressed as she comes in. She's a short-backed one, but she is absolutely seamless. From her shoulder to her hip, the rear portion of her loin ties in so incredibly into her hip. And I think if you read her from her stifle back, thinking about both her being competitive in the show ring, but also as a generator, an area that we need to focus in the show pig world. She's extremely good coming at you. Everything's in check and still out on her corners. A bold mate kind of a gilt there with a phenomenal look. Again, 105 is her tag. She's out of Ringleader. Canal's second gilt option. final one here from Canal Show Pigs is a Duroc Barrow here. Duroc Barrow is actually a littermate to that gilt that we saw there, and I think a really neat individual. Again, that pedigree red all the way creation. If you remember back, the mom raised the 4th overall at Breeders' Cup. She's a mate sister to the dam of Outcry, and that one that his boys showed there at Expo. Again, tag 106 here on the Duroc Barrow out of all the way. Absolutely monster in terms of his rib cage and just has the feeding look about him. To me, his muscle texture and immaturity about his skull, his crest, and his muscle there from behind reads his barrows. They are good when they're big, particularly in this breed, and don't get out of bounds and course, and everything just works so well together. And to me, that's the semblance of balance, and definitely I definitely hear, I think, an awesome feeding kind of a pig there. We talked about the Canal program, but particularly their focus on the Duroc deal has been incredible, and we know we're going to hear from it. Already have here as of late. Again, this is a Canal Spinal 1, Duroc Barrow out of all the way. His tag was 106. Next in, we've got Day Family Show Pigs. Tag 107 is their leadoff. Just for guys that have gone to the house, like I have a couple times here, he is 48-3, and that's regardless when you were able to get there to Orlando, Oklahoma, and go to Day Family Show Pigs. This is a notch that you would remember. I saw him maybe just a couple days after he dropped out of the nursery. He was the only individual pig I wrote down. I wrote down pins of pigs and litters of pigs. This one got an individual notch. He is out of wide awake, back on a wild time backdrop sow. The dam was the Division III champion and 4th overall gilt at OIE last year that the Horsley family showed there, and a phenomenal female there for sure. I believe she is one of the highest selling or one of the high selling gilts there. Obviously, a wild time that had a tear there at OIE and has since then. But again, this wide awake sired pig, just stoutness of bone that you know from the Day family, squareness of pins. If you get in it behind him and actually evaluate him leaving you, you're not going to find many any better. Still stout and bold, and got just a neat look about his head and skull there as well. Again, 48-3 is his notch. His tag is 107. That's the leadoff from Justin Day, Day Family Show Pigs. Second one in the ring here is another one again. Obviously, Day Family 108. We're going to continue to go through numerical order. I thought one of the really neat barrow prospects. It looks like he can make a heavyweight barrow, and obviously that stoutness that you always think about when Justin and Jerry set them in here. This dark cross male is sired by Daybreak back on a pace car kingpin sow. Daybreak is also a wide awake sired boar icon, a daylight sow, sold at Kings 2 in this very ring there last year that Stevenson Livestock bought there. Again, Days used that boar, and he told me there last week that he's going to plow him in extremely heavily as after he sees what that boar did. Again, Daybreak's at Stevenson's, and they bought him right here out of this ring last year. The dam of this particular pig is a direct daughter of that $65,000 kingpin sow that Heritage Genetics sold at the exchange. That also be the mother of Brandy, which was the 2023 Show Gilts of the Year. So phenomenal pair here. This one hit me as a Show Barrow Supreme and Show Barrow Champion. I love seeing Justin's pigs here. Justin and Jerry just did such an awesome job, and an honor to have them bring this pair that were slated for Kings for a very long time. Again, this one is tag 108. Again, I think a sale highlight and one that ended up making his way into the second position of the sale here in just a little bit is Alec Atkins Livestock. This is tag 109. This pig is sired by Hang Tight, back on the wide awake backdrop sow. Just a side note there, if you follow through sale weekends, actually one of the ones or a mate to the pig that he sold there at I believe the the established there a few weeks ago. But a very, very good pig here. Again, one of those that hit me extremely hard. I guess the mark of those show bears that win to me are ones that you take note of the pin, and then your level of impression, or I guess you're even more impressed when they actually hit the show ring. That's what he did during that mini preview for me. Short back, big bodied, stout constructed one. We all want to talk about tall fronted ones. That one actually runs uphill. His height of shoulder is taller than his height of hip, and yet still he bends, flex, and goes from behind. I love this particular pig right here. I know we all talk about boars at live events. We all talk about those. It'd be awesome if he's a boar prospect, because we may not, or we wouldn't have to show against him. But I'm going to tell you what, Barrow guys, that's about as good as what we've offered there this fall in my mind. Alec sent me a Snapchat of this one. I was impressed. I liked him back there. I love him in the pen here in the show ring. Tag 109, sired by Hang Tight, Atkins Livestock. Next one in is again Alex's second one here. We've got a Berkshire boar pig, and if you've watched Alex's program, he's young, not just in age, but also just raising them on his own, and the mark that he's made. Actually had champion gilt, Berkshire gilt at Expo out of his very first crop there of this set of them, and that's absolutely remarkable. Breeders try to do that their entire life and not and don't get it accomplished. I've got to know him as a friend and as a person, and always impressed. I said there at the last Kings, he wakes up thinking about winning hog shows. He goes to sleep thinking about winning hog shows, but he doesn't sleep much because it keeps him awake and goes through there. I know he loves this Berkshire male from a feeding perspective. He's out a moonshot back on a shots fired gladiator sow. Again, this is tag 110. Berkshire boar pig, Alec Atkins Livestock. This is his second one because it's behind that elite crossbred. But I know he wouldn't have any shame starting this one again. Muscle texture, body shape, and just as parallel as he is in his lines, because his top line is level, but from his chest to his sheath to his flank is an absolutely dead level. Stout constructed, clean jointed, and strong footed. It looks like a one that he stakes his reputation on. Again, we're on Atkins Livestock, Berkshire male, tag 110. Just right down the road, we've got Hamilton Show Pigs coming in next, and a firm there, multiple breeds. But the first thing that comes to mind for me and Nick Hamilton and the Hamilton firm is the Berkshire side of things. And this is tag 111, a Berkshire boar pig. He's out a ball and chain on a top shelf sow. Champion Berks on both sides, or both the Ohio State Fair as well as the Michigan Livestock Expo. Ball and chain is the Trogden boar that goes back to Off the Chain's mom, as well as many Berkshire banners there. We read what they provide you, but the pig speaks for himself. Moderate, round ribbed, and positioned to be fed into March and still have an awesome look. To be honest with you, he came a little bit full whenever he came to that mini preview. I didn't know exactly where maturity pattern goes, and he hits you right here, and you study him from his length of from his shoulder to his ear, this cockiness that he offers, his length the front end. You combine that with still being a very, very stout constructed one that is so comfortable as he crosses the show ring surface. I think this tag 111 is one of those that will definitely be heard of from a firm that continually wins in the Berkshire ring there. Proud to have a Hamilton's pair, but I think again a sell highlight, regardless where we end up slating things in the sell order. Hamilton Show Pigs, tag 111, Berkshire male of ball and chain. Hamilton's second one is a crossbred right here, and we talked about his reputation in the Berkshire ring, but obviously just a year ago had a ton of success on the crossbred side of things, and has a few sows out of there. They're just flat generators. This dark cross male right here is out of the heavy hitter boar, back on a tricked out sow. The tricked out mother raised the reserve grand gilt at Louisiana State Fair again a year ago. There litter there that was awesome. Individual gilt that was phenomenally good. Again, this heavy hitter sired pig, we know what that boar's done in the show ring. And this one, I think from an immaturity standpoint, fits the mold of those ones that won out of that boar, but still stoutness of jaw is incredibly good. For a green built one, you study the top of his shoulder and he's set out wide. I like his length of body and height relationship, extremely good. Again, regardless of breed, Hamilton's done a phenomenal job as of late. This dark crossbred male pig, again, is out a heavy hitter. He is tag 112, Hamilton Show Pigs. Schwecke Genetics comes in next, and this is tag 113. And I think notable here, the unrivaled boar, the swallow boar that PBG bought at perfect timing last year. This is the first unrivaled that we see tonight. The last couple weeks, I don't know how many high sellers we've seen out of the boar, and just tonight we'll see a half a dozen or more out of this boar. Or the unrivaled boar is just stamping that stoutness that he offered, thickness of arm, and this Barrow or this boar prospect definitely marks that. This one is out of a no stranger breaking rules sow that goes back to the charm sow as well. Awesome litter in this here. I have a proven sow. Purchased this dam from S Squared a few years back at King's. The dollar amount of her offsprings has been unreal, is what Zach says here. The best part about it, they sell high, but they feed and win at the highest level. This spring's litter of trust funds sired net worth that Laird's bought for $85,000, as well as the $11,000 D1 gilt at Iowa State Fair. So again, that sow line speaks for itself. Tons of winners, tons of high sellers, and then we put the unrivaled board right on top. Again, another sell highlight. Always excited about what Zach brings. Schwecke Genetics, tag 113. Next in Bediger Farms, Bryce brings us a pair of Duroc boar pigs here. The first one is tag 114. This one is sired by No Vacancy, back on a crybaby sow. The same dam as Canal Gilt that showed this last summer. Limited access at Savage, as well as All They Want boar there that Bediger has there in stud there at their house. Every time, every sale that we've had, particularly the King sales in general. Bryce has brought a phenomenal set of red ones there, and a young man that just has this deal. Obviously, his passion is what's backing it, but kind of has it figured out. And I know that kind of sounds cliche, but they don't come this cute-headed and that stout constructed with that kind of look, proud look, and arrogance in the Duroc breed. And then that flexible, that comfortable, and that right in their footwork. Their muscle texture looks like ones that are feed. Their stoutness looks like ones that'll win, and they look like they're bred to be champions there. We expect that now. That kind of comes with, I don't want to say that, I hope that doesn't come across offensive because it's not easy to do. Bryce just does it repetitively, and so we do expect them to have ones this way. This boar pig right here, wherever you see his endpoint, I think is absolutely phenomenal. Again, No Vacancy, crybaby, same dam as that Canal Gilt, if y'all are taking note, that showed this summer that won a ton. There, he is tag 114. Tag 115 is Bryce's second one. Again, we're on Bediger Farms here. Special edition is the sire of this individual, but the mother is out of Kaboom, and this is the same dam as No Vacancy. And so again, you follow things this fall. How many pigs that Bryce has brought out and firms have brought out at No Vacancy. This is one that's directly out of that one's mother. Special edition sired there. Again, we talked about the quality, look, and an attractive nature that they offer, and this one maybe takes it even that much further in terms of moderation of shortness of body combined with height of shoulder, and doesn't give you a quick look at all. Impeccable look there from the side, but you ask him to come at you and leave you. He's set on his corners and looks like a bold made red one. That one can get along extremely good. Again, you kind of close your eyes, buy them from this firm right here, get them home and take care of them. It looks like you could definitely have you a winner for sure. And that's not lip service at all. I'm very impressed with this pair. This second one, again, special edition back on the mother of No Vacancy. She's sired by Kaboom. This is tag 115. Sanders Show Pigs comes in next, and we always kind of razz DJ and Amara here. You're either going to see high quality show pigs or a really good dinner on their Snapchat. The last 2 weeks or 10 days, it's pretty much been this pig right here, and I was hoping that the first time I saw him that he was coming to the Kings of the Hill too, because one of those 10 days ago that just absolutely knocked me out in terms of his video and didn't disappoint when we saw him live here. He's out of the popular mainline boar that stands at Halfin, the Hilty bred boar there that has done a phenomenal job. Again, sell highlights, sell toppers in the boar category as well as the Barrow side of things there. That is just stamping an ultimate look combined with skeletal stoutness, modern day hair, a modern day look, and flexibility. They again just have a different presence about them. This male pig, again, sired by Mainline, back on an out for blood. Quite frankly, Sal, their mom is the $26,000 Hilty leadoff from the spring sale last year. Mom had the grand at the county show in Oklahoma for the Bunt family, reserve D1 at EYO and Oklahoma State Fair in her first litter. Grandma raised the reserve grand bear at Indiana State Fair, shown by the Lambright family this last time, raised by Hilty. Hilty top and bottom, Sanders backing them there. DJ and Amara, whenever you talk to them, they get pretty giddy about this pig right here. Again, started by Mainline. This is the first one here from Sanders Show Pigs, tag 116. I think again, it's so neat as these things come in. Again, we opted to do them individually. I hope that you're enjoying to be able to evaluate them on an individual merit. But take note whenever mates come like this, they are offering up a litter mate female to that last exciting male that we just talked about. So again, pedigree reads mainline, out for blood, quite frankly, here. Again, Hilty bred on top and bottom. Most importantly, phenomenal litter, phenomenal gilt there. We talk about selling them in the fall. We talk about sows. We talk about boar prospects. I'm going to tell you, I want to talk about resale value of a gilt that's like this right here. Imagine what she could bring there come OIE time, and then obviously lay down and be a sow for these guys here. I'm going to say we've got DJ sitting on the edge over here. It probably hurts his heart to let a gilt like this go. And I read the investment that they put in on this one's mother and the dollars generated their mother and grandmother, their successes there. I've had as many calls about the boar pig prior to the sale and the gilt since the last preview there. This one's head shape is absolutely unreal. I don't think you could ever have one built better. Ahead of her blade there, and then from behind, match the stoutness of the boar, pin set, muscle shape, expression, body cavity is incredible. Again, we could talk them a long time. I said we're going to be efficient. Couldn't be more pleased with the pair DJ and Amara brought here. Very, very good pair. Mainline sires them. Tag 117 is a gilt. Again, 116 was the boar. Wehmer's in next. Again, we're going in numerical order, so that means that 118 is next. Wehmer Show Pigs, their lead off. Dark crossbred male, sired by Get Real, back on a tricked out sow. Get Real and the tricked out sow become true foundation female, or that's a true foundation female in their herd, and they just trust this pedigree there for sure. Without question, one of the widest constructed, boldest pigs that we probably have to offer there. Maybe past that little bit of a cute stage that you would say that some of sell pigs are in. You can tell this pig is genuine. He's true and honest in his width. He's got a great big back, pride open down low, tremendously well. And then again, height and length relationship is very modern in their proportionality there for sure. I said he was past his gilt stage because he's got just a bit of size, but for me, that one handled right feeds perfectly into March there for sure. Very, very good individual to kick off Wehmer's pigs here. Obviously, that firm, that family, Jayton and Twist and crew there put a lot of emphasis here on Kings. This is tag 118, sired by Get Real, back on that trusted, tricked out sow. All right, next in, we'll hang tag 119. Again, we're continuing on Wehmer's consignments here. 119 is out of the Thunder Boar, back on an ACDC house money sow. This pig in particular, they've had slated for the Kings of Two for quite some time. The Thunder Boar just raised the champion crossbred gilt at the Summer Spectacular. This particular pig right here, Jaden said, embodies exactly what the Wehmer firm stands for and strives to make here. Again, really neat color pattern where that belt gets behind his shoulder, just makes them even that much longer ahead of their blade, that much more attractive there up front. But then behind, you always know Wehmers are going to be stout. They're going to have muscle. They're going to have power. And then this one's muscle texture reads as one that'll feed. I don't know. I know span is kind of a word that we use in the sheep world. But if you look at this one spans up top huge, and his width and his upper hip and center stifle is absolutely phenomenal for one that does not read round. Again, we're on Wehmer's. This one's sired by Thunder. ACDC's on the bottom side. He is tag 119. Edgar Show Pigs comes in next. His first one that lead off things is a Duroc Barrow, already castrated Duroc Barrow out of lunch pail. This one, sow, is a King Boss main character green bottles. Again, firms that come through there. I know there's an array of breeds there that Edgars tend to raise and be successful, but their red ones tend to be just a little different than others. And I thought it was neat. We start with a red Barrow, again, already castrated and ready to roll. I think, again, from a firm that you know is going to have punch and power, this pig has a feeding look and a flexible skeleton to go with it. His rib shape and just body texture is incredibly good. Still high tying there. A moderate frame red one, but we've already talked about guys that have knowledge and have experience feeding red ones. We better start them small. And we've got running gear like this one, you can push and hammer down and get that one wherever he needs to be positioned to win. Again, he is tag 120. We're on Edgar's Show Pigs. This is a Duroc castrated male pig sired by Lunch Pail. Again, Edgar's has a few of them, but we kick off things with this red male. Edgar's second one that comes in happens to be a crossbred male pig, crossbred boar here on Edgar's, tag 121. He's out of Conquer. The mother is a My Speed. Next contestant Encore. Again, we're sired by Conquer. We're on Edgar's Show Pigs. This is a belted intact male pig, tag 121. Again, we talk about the power that they always tend to have there in Edgar's, but I've been impressed this fall with their ability to do that with maybe even just a longer growth curve, more extension, and maybe just a longer muscle pattern, if you will. This one comes right at you. Again, neckties high. He's wide between his eyes. He's not only broad and wide about his chest floor, his sternum lays flat and square. He reads so good in terms of his forerib dimension. And another one of those pigs you can truly say runs uphill. Again, I think that's one right there. Deep, dark, and black. Pigment is right. Manage him correctly, and he can be awfully good. Again, we're on Edgar's second one here. Belted crossbred male out of Conquer, back on a My Speed sow, tag 121. Next in, Eggers, 122, another dark crest male pig. I believe this is a littermate. I should have been paying attention from earlier. Littermates to the off-belted one here. We've got a chromed up target rumped one here that comes in next. So again, that pedigree on this 70 litter is Conquer, My Speed. Next contestant, Encore. Again, looks like the brother in terms of his front portion of his skeleton. Obviously has as much width and power that we like to start with early. Take that one slow. Take that one at the right pace there. He's got an awesome look, and still he's square edged. Looks like he's got the length of body to continue to grow and to make one, even though that you take him from a management style, keep things together behind, he can still grow because he offers that extension. Again, this black-headed male, target rumped one here. We're on Eggers. That is a litter mate to the last one. They're out of Conquer. This one's tag is 122. final one here from Edgar Show Pigs is 123 Berkshire Barrow, already castrated. Berkshire Barrow from Edgar's. He's out of area 51 25-3. I should have clarified exactly if that pulls things down, but again, area 51 25-3, which is a commitment son, and then this one's mother is also out of commitment back on a B54 grandmother. Again, a Berkshire male pig. I had a couple guys ask me about Berkshire boars after the preview, and I said it was a shame there that Eggers was already cut. Fortunate for the Barrow guys here, because I thought that one for that breed, again, for being that smooth patterned, that good and tidy about his cheek and jowl, to be still stout, being very, very comfortable, comes to the ground softer than most Duroc male pigs do whenever you get there to the end. I think that'll separate them. Again, bend and flex is awesome. You get right on top of him. Hopefully you have an opportunity to study him outside the ring. That one's got a big back. Again, muscle texture and maturity pattern looks like one that'll feed. Again, Berkshire Barrow, Edgar Show Pigs, their last one, tag 123. Next in, we have Stayton Farms. Damon just brings a single entry here. Individual that we know is passionate in the Poland breed. There's absolutely no firm that's hang more banners, had more pictures, and been to the backdrop more than Stayton. This is an interesting wrinkle right here. Definitely be paying attention. We've got a Poland classifying male pig, already castrated Barrow. He's out of tricked out 4. He's out of tricked out 4, back on a mattress pad sow. He is a mate, right, Damon? A mate to the one that sold in Kings 1. And without question, this one classifies as a Poland. Turnkey, 3 white chips come with this one, with that crossbred pedigree. Very, very interesting one. Excited when I read the paper, even more so whenever we see this pig here. Again, round rib, bold chested, awesome look, has a crossbred presence about him, but he's backed by a Poland herd there that just flat wins and goes, and that one will classify. Mark made the comment afterwards, if his kids were still showing, this one would go home wherever he was residing there, or his feeders would feed with that pedigree, backed by that sow herd, with a one that's going to classify for sure. Sounds like a champion to me. Stayton Farms, 124 is that one's tag. Let's side note, we have Barrow listed here. That one's intact. Armstrong's in next here, and Armstrong comes in, and one of those firms there, maybe as many champions, particularly sold out of this ring as anybody, brings a spot boar pig to kick off things there. This is tag 125, sired by Badger, back on a Scotty sow. This one's mother raised the reserve spot barrow at the Illinois State Fair. Again, Armstrong Genetics brings a spot boar sired by Badger. Again, a firm there that's had as many champions. I don't know at this particular stage. I do know, though I don't know if I've ever seen one that is this whip trained and this broke from this firm. Impressed by that. They're proud of them for that perspective, but more so from a quality perspective. That tall shouldered, that high tine in their neck with that good of a look. Armstrongs are always heavy duty. They're always stout. They're always heavy muscled. This one's square in his underpinning. He's square and strong footed. Correct up front where spots need to be better. Very, very good individual here. Again, Armstrong's leadoff is tag 125. Armstrong's second one actually has the exact same pedigree. They are not litter mates, but Badger Scotty is how that pedigree reads. So obviously, JR and crew felt very confident that pedigree need to be matched and made here. He brings there in 126 a pig there that sow is responsible for the reserve spot at the Kentucky State Fair. I would say this one phenotypically is just a shot more moderate, maybe just a bit more conventional in that regard, and with that comes even that much bigger of a body shape, that much bolder in terms of his center cage. A big, powerful one there that you come accustomed for the Armstrong crew to bring. I still think he's got an awesome look. Everything's in check and balances. Again, I think spot feeders are going to know that one looks like one that'll feed. Again, Armstrongs always have those champion barrows, and I don't know how many have been sold at this exact ring here for sure. This one, again, has that same pedigree. Badger Scotty. This one is tag 126. Go to Reese. Reese Livestock brings one here again. Had as much discussion leading into the scale of whether we thought this one was going to be a boar or we thought this one was slated to be a barrow. I'd say take your pick or whatever your goals are there. I guess this would be the moment in the sale preview that I would say if you reflect back over the last 2 or 3 years, those boar pigs that come out at previews that people tend to gravitate to, you'd say imagine what he would have looked like as a barrow there at Houston or San Antonio or OYE. And then at the same time, the ones that win those big banners, you say, man, why in the world did they cut that pig and the value that it be? That's the way I see this pig that Dakota brings. He's out of Stingop, which is a Stinger son that is at Ally Genetics there that Weston Charles has. That boar is doing a phenomenal job making them as stout constructed as any boar in the country, regardless where they reside. This pig is out of a top shelf Echo Sow. Again, boar barrel, wherever you're going to be, square built. One of those that proportionality looks like one that can be big league and also be a sire. Reads that way about his skull and his arm and his chest and his blade. I know Dakota's proud of this pig, which he should be. Reese Livestock, sired by Stingop, tag 127. I don't know if there's been a firm that's brought more exciting individuals than Ham Livestock week in and week out, and yet this is one of the first ones, if not the first white one. He is a solid white crossbred boar pig out of Seeing Things. His mother's a white noise solo. The mom here is the mother of Smokescreen, that happens to also be Wham's sister. I encourage you to go on KV, look at the sale listing here, and look at the list of winners that are behind this barrow. I would say there are 16 of them listed right here. I'm not going to list them all. That would get long and redundant. We can all see the quality. Dustin has brought a set of them, and I don't know, this isn't one of my absolute favorite ones here. This is one of those individuals that you don't make perfect pigs, but I would challenge you as evaluators on the side of the ring, tell me where you have to change this pig. We could all tweak and say this or that. That's just being critical minds as we are as livestock people. I don't want to ever sit up here and say that this is a perfect one. But again, as an evaluator, as a person, a stock person from a feeding standpoint or perspective aspect here, I don't know where you have to change one, and yet he's elegant enough, extreme enough, and has the quality to win in any setting, regardless of any breed that he is, or if he's a boar. Imagine him there in the stud there to sire white ones, blue ones, or wherever his color ends up lying there. Can't say enough. Ham Livestock, Seeing Things, solid white, crossbred male pig, tag 128. Phillips comes in next, and I believe they were hauled on the same exact trailer. And I made mention there earlier, DJ's mainline sired pig. This one was ranked right there with them for most to talk about pigs. This one got talked about and maybe had as much scuttle, as much hype on, or I guess as much chatter as any of them, even before a picture, just from farm visitors there. If you talk to Cooper there, just an awesome individual that's doing a lot of things right there. This dark cross male pig, like we alluded to, is out of the mainline boar, the Hilty bred boar there that's at Halfins. This one sow is a blurred 40-2 on a little bro sow there. Mother's awesome show career. She was grand 5 times in the jackpot surface. Circuit. She was also the bronze overall at Texas National. She won Stevens County in Oklahoma at OYE. She was bronze D2, 8th overall commercial gilt. Again, go to the list if you want to hear more and more of them. There's 2 paragraphs about this one. I'd let the pictures, I'll let the live pig speak for itself on foot. Again, we've seen a lot of main lines. We have not seen a main line necessarily that is that bold chested, that bold bladed, that bold in his forerib, and that manly coming at you. That boar is going to hang a lot of banners. This one gives me a boar impression coming at you, and yet still barrel proportionality from the side, generating ability again in his skeleton and in the way that he's built there from the profile. He's impressive going away from you as well. Again, we don't make them perfect, but that one has some outline pieces and some things that could be a generator and it'd be tough to show against for sure. 129 is his tag, Phillips Show Pigs. Cooper brings an off-belted male pig in here next, and this one is sired by the again boar that's growing in popularity. That is stands at PBG. His name is Dog Eat Dog. This one sows a quite frankly never before. Mom is a mate to the fourth overall light cross at Tulsa. Grandma is one of the most proven sows there at Phillips. This pig is a mate to the $120,000 pig there that PBG bought a few weeks back, or just a couple weeks back, that I saw there firsthand. Was a very impressive individual. Regardless where the chromed up one sits there when they unloaded, I said, "Hey, Cooper brought you one that looks like a barrow that'll feed." I've been able to go to his place a couple times and so impressed with pin after pin that are absolutely impeccable from a skeletal aspect. Structurally, they're just indestructible there for sure. This pig looks like that. Body shape, muscle texture. He may have just a little more length of body than some guys tend to gravitate to. Me as a feeder, those are the ones that you can do what you want to from a feed bucket perspective, and he can still get to those fighting weights where they can actually win and look like they just can swallow up the competition. I know he's proud of that chromed up one. I had a couple people say if I had to pluck one of Cooper's out here, I don't know for sure from a bear perspective, I might not gravitate here. Again, out of Dog Eat Dog, out litter mate to that real high dollar one he sold a couple weeks ago. His tag is 130. Trogden comes in next, and Trogden again had our high selling pig there at Kings One. Eric's first one here in the ring is tag 131. He's sired by the unrivaled boar, obviously that's been on a tear there. The pig sale circuit had his pig there a few weeks ago, and is if we're going to name premier sire, maybe of the fall, but for sure of Kings 2, it would be unrivaled. This pig of Trogden is out of a next contestant in-game sow, black-legged pig again. Whether you're Slayton, boar, or Barrow, this is one of those that I told Camlin as we got done there that we need to take note of. Doubt we'll be able to afford him, but sure would be scared to show against him for sure. Tall shouldered, square edge. If you study how good he is out of the backside of his shoulder, that's what big market hogs need to look like there. Carries that consistently into a very square pin set. He is incredible going away from you and would beat most of them in that regard. I think he's neat, and again, in terms of having those aesthetics of added hair, the right color pattern, and the right pigment. He is very high on the list. I don't know where we set him in the sell order. I know in the upper part of it. Don't matter. That one needs lots of stars. Tag 131 from Trogden. Trogden only brings a pair of us here, and so this is his final consignment, or their final consignment in 132. This is one that's out of the money line board back on an in-game Messiah sow. Again, we're on Trogden Farms, and this is 132, or Trogden Show Pigs. Again, one of those that rivals the rest of the competition in terms of width of body, width of skeleton, and particularly for me, not only just is he bold and wide, his outward turn to his midrib, his center body and center cage. You couldn't build one any better there. We say so many times, you show up there the day of the show and you hope and pray that your barrow will eat. This one can miss a meal and he's still going to be bigger bodied than most. He's still square leaving you. He's still stout constructed in his rear bone work there, and one of those that I think will be awfully powerful. Whether you set him in March, he looks like he has the size to be a little one come San Antonio time if you needed that. So anywhere mid or third week of Feb to the end of March, I think this one fits. Neat color pattern to go with it. We're on Trogden Show Pigs. This one's sired by Moneyline. His tag is 132. Korb is in next, and again, this is a highlight of the sale for sure. Had a few people come by that said that that was their absolute favorite. Wouldn't argue with you, but David's entry here, 133 is the tag. He's sired by Stud Monkey, back on a saddle up, never before sow. Again, that Stud Monkey boar there that Blunt raised, that sits there at PBG, has had some of my absolute favorites personally that sold from a Barrow perspective. Actually, I'm not sure how many of them actually ended up being Barrows because there's been so many boars sold with them. They have the look right there that that Stud Monkey had there early, in terms of semblance of skeleton from the side, being so symmetrical there, dead level, still being having the right height, the shoulder, the right skull shape. They're always going to look young and immature, but then be stout in their rear leg. I love this one's feeding ability and feeding look. He's got a really neat color pattern to boot. Again, sell highlight, out of Stud Monkey, saddle up, never before mama there. David Korb Farms, tag 133 is the one that Lauren drives. Drop in the second one here again. Korb ended up bringing a pair to us, and this one is tag 134. He's sired by the very popular worldwide boar. That's obviously a full brother to Woke there. That's at PBG. This one's mother is a promotion. Stay classy. Again, always excited about what Korb brings, and he brought a pair of them here that I think can hang a banner wherever you go. I know we've said that a lot, but I think that's what we have in the barn is pigs that look like they could feed from firms that slated pigs in here to make the big banners next year at the King sales here. Again, chromed up, dark cross male pig. He's out of worldwide. I've liked the worldwides again comparatively to even the Wokes. Again, front end assembly, boldness of chest and blade, and still having that really neat look there that those Deckard sired boards tend to have and tend to possess to allow you to win there. Again, we talked about the Stud Monkey one that leads things off. This one better be pretty high. Korb normally just brings a single entry, so you know he likes both of these. This one could be a lead off and have that status just as easily. Worldwide's the sire, Korb Farms 134. Carter Hogue and Hogue Livestock brings in the next ones here. I believe we've got 4 consignments for them. This is a very exciting boar prospect, Barrow prospect that is solid white, crossbred. He's out of the ever popular white flag boar, back on a purebred Yorkshire sow from Lorenzen there. So I'd say color is true, classification is true, and this is Hogue's leadoff here. Mothers of the 63s, like I said, came from the Lorenzen, bred her to light flag, hit a home run. Don't know the value of white, snow white crossbred gilts there, but a progressive breeding program. I'm sure that these set the bar for upper end quality, is what Carter says here. This one's ready to go in the Yorkshire Drive. He does look like one of those would be fun to campaign all winter, but I can't imagine what this one's popularity would be there in March. Again, he will be white. He's sired by white flag, back on Lorenzen. I'd say that sounds like a boar, looks like a champion Barrow. Proud of the Hogue for bringing them here. 135 again as this one's tagged. We're going to end up seeing a pair of Chesters here that Hogue consigns. The first one is actually going to be the gilt. This is tag 136. They're sired by All Inclusive, back on a Ride the Wave burner phone sow. All Inclusive be the boar from Winter Circle. There at a really, really exciting one that's done a phenomenal job. This one's mother is also the mother of the champion Chester Barrow there at the National Barrow Show, Illinois State Fair, as well as Ohio State Fair. A boar that we own in Iowa with Diamond B and LJ Show Pigs, purchased from Heimer. She is on the show team. She's too good to not keep as a sow. Again, they've got one sow, excited about them. This gilt has as much power, shape, and just expression as any pig, regardless of breed. Big tree trunks for legs and a neat look about her there for sure. Again, we're fixing to see a littermate boar pig that's a sell highlight, but this gilt better be circled. If you're looking for a Chester female, her tag is 136. Again, I didn't want to overshadow the gilt with this boar pig, but this is one of those that had a lot of discussion there. For that breed is one of those, if you're looking to a male pig to hang a banner or maybe have boar quality there, but I'd be looking for a Chester banner there with this one. Again, out of all inclusive, back on a ride the way, burner phone sow. Again, Hogue Livestock, litter mate to gilt, Chester boar pig, 60 litter pig here, tag 137. Again, body shape, ability to tie a late maturing look from the side with a moderation of length of body and length of back that allows you to know that he would feed. He looks like one of those you could do anything you want to from a feed bucket perspective. It's hard to make Chester Barrows this bold, this stout constructed, this heavy muscled, and their muscle to lay on their body in a correct fashion, be clean about their skull or clean about their crest, if you will, and be juvenile about their skull. This one does it at a high level. Again, we're on Hogue. This one is tag 137. Hogue's final one that comes in here is a blue one, light cross, blue classifying one. No info back on a wham timber safe word sow. Again, that sow just reads as one that'll be a stout and be able to be fed. Again, I predicted, I've been wrong a lot, so it's okay to say it. I predict that a blue one's going to win at a very, very high level, not just in the blue classifying breeds, regardless where they show. I'd say it might could even happen in Houston where we don't have that division, but I see Austin written all over this one, and I hate to slate them and tell you where to show them. This one's quality is absolutely incredible. The no info boar is there at Good Hope at Hogue's. He's had great luck with them, using a lot in the last 2 seasons. The mother of the 52's Wham goes back to one of the older key sows that they call Blue Eyes. Very, very neat bear. I've seen him go to the wash rack twice. Indestructible kind of skeleton, coupled with a broad skeleton, a great rib shape, and a feeding look. A blue one from Hogue completes theirs. That's tag 138. Horsley Genetics comes in with a pair of them, and this first one there is a Rizzler sired boar pig here. Again, we're on Horsley Genetics, tag 139. To review that, he is sired by Rizzler. The mother is a quite frankly sow. She shares the same mother as Driven. That's at Showtime Sires. Incredible generating power on both sides of the pedigree. Noah states that this is one of the most unique ones that they've ever started. An individual there, I would say, doesn't maybe just boast and brag as much as they probably should. But I can tell you what, the Horsley brand, the Horsley firm is going to continually crank out generators. If you look at this one's mother's picture that's on his pen, you can know back by a sow there, and I know that's where they pride their quality to come from. Again, he's got some size. He looks like if we're slated on for a Barrow, that one could be a February feeding one for sure. But obviously, I believe he brought him for being a boar prospect out of the Rizzler boar. This one, I told Camlin as we sat together in the middle in the mini preview, this one looks like Rizzler did when he sold last year at PT, but probably bolder in his chest, laid back even better at his blade. I'm not going to say he's better, but he improves a couple things there and resembles his sire that has proved to go on and generate there. Love his muscle shape. Love his presence. Got a really neat character about him. That's Horsley Genetics, tag 139, sired by Rizzler. Awesome, quite frankly, mother. Their second one here by there that Horsley has is sired by Vegas Money. Back on a Prince Charming tricked out sow. Again, we're on Horsley, tag 140. This is from a first litter sow that they expected a lot of big things about. Vegas Money that for the Southwest, maybe a boar that you don't maybe hear quite as much there. If you followed Horsley on Facebook, is a boar there that continually stamps them with stoutness. They're clean jointed. What I've been impressed from pictures and the ones that I've seen is how consistent and how big their rear column of bone is down to the surface there. Again, have that feeding look, have that muscle texture, height the shoulders extreme, and one of those that looks like you can hammer down on the feed bucket and not get out of bounds as you leave you. Matches that with a wide stout jawline, a wide stout skull there. Really, really neat. True belted one that could be a Hampshire classifying if you go that route. He's sired by Vegas Money. This is Horsley's second one, tag 140. Good buddy Gabe brings in the first one here, or I guess the only one from Swallow Farms, and got a history there. I guess anybody that's frequented the Kings of the Hill knows that when we first started it with four breeders, and the stud was one of those four that was initial consigners there. We were all asked to bring one guest consigner to come in that we had faith was going to bring them. Gabe was the first person that we invited. He is one of the original eight and has been at absolutely every single one of them. If you look around ringside, he prides himself in the Swallow Farms brand of bringing ones to Kings that are going to work and going to hang banners. He's got faith in this pig right here. He's tag 141. He's sired by Unrivaled, I guess we informally named the premier sire of the Kings of the Hill 2. This is the breeder of Unrivaled. Swallow raised that board, sold him there at PT last year at a premium blend. This Unrivaled sired pig's mother is a Money's On. Again, 37 litter pig there from Swallow Farms, tag 141. Immature about his look, awesome about his skull, high, tall about his shoulder. It's so comfortable and square at the ground. And I'm going to tell you, Swallow Farms never don't have enough muscle. This is green one right here is going to be very, very good. Again, I'd expect him to be on these big, tall banners next time. Again, appreciate Gabe's loyalty. Appreciate him bringing another one that he believes in. Unrivaled sired one, 141. We're going to go to Fontno Farms next. John's crew right here. Kaylee brings in one that's, again, sired by Nightcap, back on a Stay Classy sow. Kind of true to form. John's kind of few of words there. We need JoJo for that. I don't have any side notes there, but we know it's backed by a really good sow. Again, out of Nightcap, this is tag 142. I can tell you, I bought their leadoff in Kings 1. I was impressed by the pig there. He has absolutely done nothing but get better than when he's at the house. And first thing I asked John was that pig sired by Nightcap? He was. I can be a testament. They just continue got stouter, bolder, and even more powerful. I've always said John and JoJo, Fontno Farms liked bone before bone was cool. This one will be stout constructed and will never get beat from just being those that they're going to be rugged and bold in their makeup there. High on my list for sure. He is a Crypt Orchid, I believe, there. But again, dark cross male pig, Fontno Farms, sired by Nightcap, 142. 143 will be Fontno Farms' second one here. This is another one out of the Nightcap boar that they put so much faith in for sure. But this one, sow, is actually sired by One Truth. So again, a Nightcap sired one. This is 143 from Fontno. Again, sell order, whatever order that we go in. We don't have a huge number of pigs. I believe we ended up with 69 here for Kings 2. They'll be sprinkled on through there. This is another one that's a high caliber bear. You're not going to find them tonight or anytime this fall. You won't find them this winter or when we come to March that are going to be any wider in their chest floor and still square in the middle of their blade, square at the top of their shoulder, and consistent in their back shape like this one is. I've already told you, Fontnos are always stout at the ground. They're always going to have power to boot, and this one's immature look like one of those that'll feed. Hampshire classifying, true belted one out of Nightcap. 143 is his tag number. This is John Fontno, Fontno Farms, second consignment. Next consigner comes in. We got Rutledge Reds. Beanie is always an individual. We're always excited to see what he brings to the sell ring, but just him and his presence here, just somebody that I've got fond to love and just an awesome guy, awesome family, and has really worked on this red deal every year. Continually gets them better. He brings a little stouty here for sure. He's out of Boomer, back on a rock sow, or back on, or actually let me correct that. Boomer is out of rock, and this pig is out of a rock sow. So kind of a lime bred one there on the bottom side. His tag is 144. I can tell you this pig probably hasn't been out of the nursery and on chips very long. In fact, I saw him that first day. Beanie was the first consigner to unload. He spent about 3 hours multiple times getting this pig out and getting him whip trained. Give him props. He got it done. And that pig, he's proud of this pig. He is stout legged. He is sound moving. He is awesome rib there. We've already said it 3 times now. Little ones better start small, or red ones better start little or start small. This one does it. And backed by Rutledge's powerful sow herd, line bred, you've got some confidence there. You're not going to find them any stouter mug than this one for sure. Rutledge Reds, stats 144. Beanie's always a pleasure to have at Kings for sure. We keep bringing red ones that I think have the ability to feed and ability to get along, and the next one is no different here. We've got tag 145. This is from Savage Genetics, and maybe a firm there, obviously Donnie, but the whole firm there that has a passion for the red deal, particularly in the last couple years, has really focused here. This tag 145 from Savage is out of the old-fashioned boar, back on a top secret sow. I don't know who wrote the footnotes here, but I'm assuming Todd's as good of a red male that they've started this time. Old fashions have been very promising. This pig right here is one of the more unique ones. Boar, Barrow, wherever you've been there. Again, I've got the microphone. I hate to say, always go back to personal things there, talk about buying them. I actually haven't had the chance to buy just a whole bunch of pigs this fall, but I have bought 2 from Savage out of old fashioned. Both of them are absolutely incredible at home right now. They truly do feed there, and this pig looks like those that will do it. That hip and rear leg is very uncommon for the red breed. I can tell you, these old-fashioned pigs have an awesome look, awesome shape. Running gear stays true, and they continue to stouten. I know they're proud of this pig. I know they're proud of their red program. Again, whether you're seeking a boar, but more importantly, I know ringside in the Duroc Barrow deal, I'd hate to have to show that one if my kids were trying to win the red deal at Houston, Austin, or OYE. Tag 145, Savage Genetics, sired by Old Fashioned. Going to have a pair from Litner coming in next. The first one is True Belted Hampshire Classifying. Again, we're on Litner Show Pigs here. 146 is this one's tag number. He's out of money line. Back on a next intention sow, and it states that the grandmother is the 1907 sow that if you follow Litner's program, is the backbone or maybe one of the more trusted sows there at Litner. There in Comfort America. Again, money line, next intention on this pig right here. There's absolutely no firm that in the last 2 years, but particularly this year, that has sold a larger number of barrows for a good average that look like they could feed. If you were had the honor, I guess, or privilege or pleasure or whatever you want to call it, to be at their 2 farm sales, it was absolutely impressive. How many, just bay after bay and 2 sides of pigs, of all male pigs that Litners have sold there, that looked like they could go home and hang banners and feed. That's why they've been one of, if not the most successful programs the last 2 or 3 years there. Awesome family, backed by a great amount of passion there. I know they're proud of this one to lead it off with one of the hairiest pigs in the barn you'd take note of. He's sired by Moneyline. Next intention on the bottom side, 19.7's the grandma. 146 is that one's tag. Lauren drives in their second one here, a dark cross male pig. This one's also sired by the Moneyline boar. He's out of a wild ride sow. The mother is a littermate to the Barrow that Kai Blunt showed that won the heavyweight class there at San Antonio last year. Again, wild ride littermate to Kai's Barrow there at San Antonio. Again, probably one of the boldest, widest, and definitely one of the biggest rib pigs at San Antonio last year that could go all day long. This one sired by Moneyline is tag 147. I think, again, we talked about the bottom side, again, how stout they were, and this one's just look and and presence up front. We talk about them being high-headed. Obviously, kids know how to get their head up and show them. This one naturally dropped their whip. He almost doesn't have the ability to drop his head because his neck is tied so high on his shoulder, and yet still he's laid back in his blade. He's comfortable in his forearm and constructed up front, where I think there's going to be great amount of emphasis because the problem there that we see industry-wide is how they're assembled up front. This one's perfect there, and again follows that sow line in terms of rib shape and body. Again, we talked about what Litner's done the last 2 or 3 years and what their programs offered. If you don't have one bought yet, and I know you're probably proud of the ones that you have on, if you will, this will be one of the last chances. Again, Litner Show Pigs, sired by Moneyline, tag 147. IDK comes in next, and this is actually tag 149. 149 is the off-belted pig here from IDK Genetics. This one is sired by No Regard, back on a To the Stream sow. The mom was a bred purchase from Miller Time there last year, I believe. 48 Fours Mate Brothers were sold at Kings 1, and the Syndicate a few weeks ago were very well received. Extremely deep litter. Looks like the feeding kind there. Again, I always say we don't show these things by litter, by truckload, by carload. We don't show them together. But as feeders, if you're able to grab them out of those deep litters, it seemed like those that you can have that much more confidence that they'll go ahead and turn out there in the end. This off-belted male pig there, sired by No Regard, back on a 2 Extreme sow that IDK is a very powerful litter, 48 litter there. If you were following things from home or at sales, and then ironically, this one has the tag number 148. That's IDK's leadoff here. IDK's second one here, a dark crossbred male pig, tag 150. Sired by the Rizzler boar. We've seen 1 or 2 individuals already out that sired by Rizzler. Obviously, the boar there that True sold, that this firm purchased and had a great amount of financial investment in. But I know they're proud that they did so. Some very exciting pigs that have sold this fall. Rizzler back on a lead the way 44 sow. Mom is a first litter gilt backed by the 44 sow that's been one of the most consistent generators there for IDK. Again, they're really proud of this too. Pigs that they had. These have a very similar look there that we come to know and expect there from IDK. They've got a feeding look. They're immature, look like those that have future, look like those that are best days are to come there. Tall fronted, long hipped, and comfortable. The right kind of bone there. Awesome shape and backed by a really good sow line. And the Rizzler boar has spoken for himself this fall. Again, we're on IDK Genetics. This one is tag 150. IDK's third one is tag 151 and a little different pedigree than the other pair, maybe that we'll see tonight here. Sired by TB12, back on a Foresight, never before Rockstar. The mom to the 31s, which this pig is out of, is one of the more impressive sows that they have. She'd be the aunt to Macy Hansen's class winner at Houston. Is also responsible for several top 5 barrows herself. Again, this pig right here, maybe a little different pedigree standpoint, but great looking, awesome skeleton. Fairly skinny is what Jess says right here, but the kind they strive to make. And I'm going to tell you what, regardless what show you're at, what stage you're at, whether you're in the belted deal, the crossbred side of things there, I don't know in the last 2 or 3 years that there's any firm that more consistently is at the very top, and you've always, as a competitor, have to look over and see what IDK's got in the ring because you know they're going to be at the very top there. And again, another firm you know is going to be powerful, you know they're going to be stout, and then ones that start with a look like this, and again, that one can get and go off of his rear leg as good as any of them. Out of TB12 on a Foresight sow, this is IDK's third one, tag 151. Coulson Show Pigs comes in next, and a firm that I get to work real closely with and become great friends with Evan and Maddox and Monty and Papa Fred and the whole crew. They're just awesome people and a credible family. Needs no introduction to having champions there, regardless what state we're talking about. But I always say I'm glad they're over there north of the Red River because I'd hate to try to beat them in the show ring, and they did, and they win at every level here. Their first one. Their leadoff is a pig I've seen 3 times. And it came out of a phenomenal litter out of far and wide back on a Saved by Grace. Never before Sal, their mom, made a division winner at Georgia. The never before grandma there is a sow that goes back, or is Trick Daddy's mom, actually. So the grandma is Trick Daddy's mom. The mom, the Saved by Grace sow, had a division winner at Georgia. And this one's sired by far and wide there, the CNC boar that's at PBG. 34 litter. If you've been to Coulson's there as well, this is maybe one of the stoutest baby pigs, and they dropped them down to the chip barn that I had ever seen Coulson's produce, and we know how stout they end up with. Again, feeding muscle texture, feeding body shape, proportionality, and balance is on mark and on key there. Awesome litter. Maybe the stoutest one in the litter. Maybe one of the stoutest pigs Coulson has offered at this stage. That is, again, tag 152, Coulson's far and wide. Again, we don't show them by litter, but this one is a litter mate, and I don't know how many were in that group there that we took note of. 3 or 4 of the more elite males that we saw this fall. This wider belted one here. Hey, excuse me. He had a good litter mate. We scratched this second one. So skip 153. We're going to go to 154. We've got K&M. Kirkpatrick and McGill comes in with a single entry to Kings, solid, or not solid white, excuse me, a blue light cross male pig. He's sired by Ricky Bobby. Back on the as expected board there. Again, we've seen what as expected has done as a sire. I made the comment a year ago. I think his maybe one of his greatest impacts is what he's going to do on the female side. We've all seen what Ricky Bobby is able to do there on the whites and the blues. Again, regardless of division, classification, where we go, I don't know that we'll have one that's any stouter about their mug, any bigger about their arm and blade, and for sure that is a ginormous back leg on a powerful blue pig that has bend and flex there. I've seen that one several times. I know Willie K told me he loves this pig. He digs him. I forgot exactly what adjective he used. Probably isn't appropriate for the microphone, but he's high on him. And again, Kirkpatrick and McGill, K&M Show Pigs, solid or blue pig, excuse me, light crossbred pig out of Ricky Bobby, tag 154. Another pig that I'd heard of before the preview, and then had as many calls as any of them afterwards, was Night Show Pigs, a dark crossbred consignment, tag 155. He's sired by the Buckle Up boar that obviously has won as much as anybody in the last year or two, 18 months or whatnot there on Buckle Up. Back on a picture perfect, My Intention, Wedding Blue Sow. By far one of the most unique pigs that they've raised, and they've had a lot of them this fall. I think Tad said on Facebook, the freak of the fall, and I couldn't agree more. In Mom's first litter, it was a mate to the 10,000 gilt that sold at Established Ladies Night there this last fall. This pig's great mother is also 8 seconds grandma. So backed by a powerful pedigree. We've talked about successful firms here. There's nobody that's been more competitive than Cameron, Tad, Scotta, and the Knights Show Pigs crew. We take up airtime to talk about them. We could describe the freak nature. We could describe the extremities here. All I could say is he's got big league pieces that you are able to win for fun, or looks like the generating kind for sure. Buckle Up as the sire. Awesome Southside Night Show Pigs, tag 155 on the dark crossbred male. Okay, Cameron brings in another one here, listed as True Genetics. True is the breeder here on the Duroc male pig. There, honestly, we kind of all know a little bit of the backstory here. Believe Cameron bought the pig there early, and then we're reselling him here for boar potential, Barrow, whatever you want to call him. Just another one that could be a freak of the fall. I don't know when Cameron posted the first wash rack picture, and then obviously tagged Ryan and Brian there and said the biggest legs of the fall, and we get them in here. That pig does have the biggest legs I've seen this fall, and I'd argue with everybody that he wouldn't have the biggest legs of any breed there. This Duroc boar pig is sired by all the way. On a statement day backdraft sow. True says they've raised a few red pigs. This is the outlier in terms of pieces. Maternal sib, the fourth overall D1 barrow at the exposition that the Van Meters family showed. Grandmother reserve D2 at both Summer Spectacular as well as Indiana State Fair that the Rotoball family showed there. I know Cameron's proud of this pig. I know the True crew is proud of this pig there as well. We talked about how big his appendages are. Let's talk about how big his rib cage is, how powerful he is, and then how comfortable he is for a red hog barrow that still has look there. We obviously know what size he is. We probably know what his intention is, but don't fall asleep here. True Genetics, Duroc boar pig, sired by all the way. His tag is 156. Next in, we've got Burger Farms, tag 157, black-headed one here, sired by High Road is their leadoff. Kobe drives this one out of the rightfully so sow. High Road is the $15,000 purchase that they bought from Fontno last year. First pigs I've been a lot of fun. Said 126-3 fits the mold. And again, a firm here. I've always said I've been very impressed by them, and one of those that you can be I guess admire their how headstrong they are, how they do their own thing. They sit there, they buy boars, they breed the boars, they buy sows, they keep females, they breed regardless where the boar stands or regardless what the pedigree is. They use them because they believe in them and they think they could further their program with that set of genetics. And that's why, again, a firm that's hard to get around, regardless whether you're at. This black-headed one, regardless of color, is maybe one of the most comfortable, best skeleton pigs that we have in the barn here that you'll find. Everything fits together, everything works and matches, and that allows him to be balanced. Dark crossbred male pig. He's sired by rightfully so. Bottom side is, and I'm sorry, he's sired by High Road. Bottom side is rightfully so. He is tag 157. Addie brings in the next one here, 158. Dark Cross Gilt right here, female from Burger Farms, sired by all the above. Back on a doing this sow, 4 litter doing this sow. Behind this one's one of the best generators at the farm. 4-3 is her notch there. Just recently, she had the reserve grand overall at Burleson County. All the above is an out for blood son purchased from Fontno as well. He has the same dam as Left Behind, Big Daddy, and Double Down there. This 129-3 county show, whether you're showing at OIE or wherever you're going to end up with a female here, they think will be a lot of fun, and I couldn't agree more. All the above out of that 4-3 doing this sow there from a firm there that believes in the ones that they drop in. We're not selling very many gilts there in round 2. Kings 2, I think this will definitely be a highlight. Very, very stout constructed, comfortable skeleton, and ideal, consistent in a rib design for sure. Again, awesome female. Burger Farms, tag 158. MT Hart, the Murdoch clan, Matt and Taylor are going to bring a pair of them. We start with the Poland boar pig here. Poland boar pig 159, sired by Step Ahead, back on a Kankles clone sweater vest sow. Female comes from Foot. Sow is a mate to the 80 boar that's also housed there at Foot there. I told you that MT is going to bring a pair of them, and we opted to start with the breed pig. I know they're extremely excited about both of these there. Has that signature foot look in the Poland breed in terms of having a unique presence, a unique jawline, a unique height of shoulder. He is one of those that I love his maturity pattern. For that breed, I think muscle texture is awesome. Square underneath, clean about his joints, and right when he comes at you. Again, looks like one of those that looks like could be a champion for sure. Be a board prospect also. Sired by Step Ahead. Kankle's Clone Sweater Best on the bottom. 159 MT Heart. I told you there's a pair of them, and obviously the second one's going to run in what we term as round 3, but he could be a leadoff. He's a castrated male pig from Murdoch's here. It'll be a belted crossbred one. He is sired by Still Standing. Back on another time, Let the Beat Build Sow. The mate to his $10,000 white one that they sold at Lackey's. Mom was champion light cross at Elite last year, Texas Elite, a very impressive one there that won that light cross division. Sal's two mate brothers were cell makers at Houston. Grandma was the high selling light cross at Texas Elite. Grandma's mate Barrow won the heavyweight crosses at Austin. The Wham great grandmother's the litter mate to the mom of the champion York Barrow at Angelo. So obviously phenomenal pedigree. That pig's been out a bunch. A Barrow right here. You're not going to find them any square in their pin set, any square in their rear leg construction that sets perfectly on his corners, that has that much bend, flex, and give from behind, and still stout in the front portion of his skeleton. Awesome Barrow prospect. That's MT Hart's second one. 160 is the belt. 159 is that Poland. Really neat pair. Rival brings again another highlight here in a Crypt Orchid, a male pig here, chromed up one. Rival Genetics, tag 161. He's sired by, again, that unrivaled boar that we've talked about so much tonight and that we have this fall. And I know we're going to talk about this winter. This one's mother here that Shane and Tatum bring is out of Wide Awake, back on a say win. Sal there. Mother was reserve overall breeding gilt at Cow Palace in 24. This one is her first litter right here. Again, I say Sal, sale highlight. Camlin, Caden always tells them when we talk sows, don't tell them which one is your favorite pig. This is one of my favorite pigs for sure. I know he's a Crypt Orchid, but I can tell you what, that one's stoutness of skeleton, stoutness of bonework, stoutness of feature, and tied with the right kind of muscle. Man, that pig, I absolutely dig him for his endpoint there. He's tag 161. He's sired by unrivaled Rival Genetics right here. No. No. Yeah. Well, if you missed that right there, this is a litter mate, so we'll get to hear the pedigree again. Litter mate's going to be unrivaled, wide awake, say when on the bottom side here. We're on Rival Genetics. Maybe they didn't hear it and tell me how much I like that last one. This is a mate one. I like him a lot too. And this one again, he's 161 is what this one's 162. Excuse me, is this one white belted one? He's out of unrivaled. Mother was reserve grand overall breeding gilt at the Cow Palace. This is her first litter there. We do take note if you're looking at ear notches. These were misnotched there earlier. This one's notched as a 40. Don't matter. They are litter mates. Unrivaled is the sire. Again, awesome in terms of height, the shoulder. This one looks like he could be a little bit bigger at his end point. You study that one's top of his shoulder. He is wide and square and stout at the top portion of his blade. And again, so consistent in his body shape. A rival, Shane and Tatum always have to look like they feed. I love this pair. 151 was that first one. That makes this one 162. 161, 162. They're out of unrivaled. This is Rival Genetics. We're on our final half dozen here. We've got 163. Jennings Show Pigs comes in next. This one's out spot barrow. Brady Jennings comes in with a spot barrow. Already castrated, I believe, if the notes are right here. Out of Spartan, back on a Titan sow. We know obviously what Titan has done. If I am not wrong, Spartan is a Titan son, mate to the two gilts there that was campaigned last year that won absolutely everything. This is a boar. Okay, is wrong on there. This is a boar. This is a boar from Brady Jennings Show Pigs there out of Spartan, which is the litter mate to those two pigs there, the two gilts there that the Lowry family had last time. This one's mother is a Titan, so tightly bred. This one is tag 163. Again, what is this firm? What has that pedigree done or not done, I guess, in the spotted breed here? Again, if this is what you're interested in, if you don't have one or if you have one at home, I'd say look in tight here. Jennings Show Pig, spot boar pig, 163 is his tag. Mr. Still Show Pigs comes in with a lone entry, blue pig here, tag 164. He is the breeder of Wild Time, and this pig is sired by Wild Time here. We know what that boar has done, what price tag or what he garnished there at purchase time, but more so how much he won. This one's mother is a buckle up backdrop there for sure. Mother is a litter mate to the D1 champion and bronze dark cross at Barrow at OYE in 23. Barrow Battle champion at PT, heavyweight light cross champion there at CYE. Her first litter, she produced the Division One light cross champion, sailmaker at OYE, reserve Grand Barrow champion Hamp at the competitive Montgomery County Fair is what this is listed right here. Again, we always talk about individuals. The breeder of Wild Time as much as many boar prospects that have gone on and generated. We get a single person on the microphone. I know you are tired of hearing me there. This is an individual. I always want to grab the microphone. He's so well spoken, a great individual, a great breeder, as we said. But he brings you a blue one, whether you've got a other cross division, blue division. I think will be competitive. If Wild Times look good early, we can all see what they can do there in the end. This one looks good to me right now. He is tag 164, Still Show Pigs. Off Schulte, HG comes in next, tag 165. This pig is sired by Inclusive. Inclusive is going to be the barn burner boar that they bought online last year, that they house there at Hoff Schulte. Has done an awesome job. This one's mother is a spread the word sow. Not only is lined up pedigree with the clean living sow being on both sides as the grandmother, but is also the mother has been an absolute generator. Her first litter she had grand at the gala in Missouri, in her New World Order this last time won numerous jackpots, county shows, fixing to hit the state pairs. They say they believe this is an unbelievable boar pig. I've had again lots of calls since that last pedigree or last preview, the mini preview. This one here has been on every single one of my Barrow and boar lists here. He looks like a generator to me about his skull, about his blade, about his rib, and about his rear leg, and looks like one of those that could go all day long. His athleticism is very uncommon for ones that have that amount of power. Obviously, for decades, Hofschulte has been around and been competitive. This last few years, they've been absolutely almost impossible to beat. I know Chris really likes this one. Boar Barrow, wherever you sit, wherever you think a size fits. Belted pig here from Hofschulte Genetics, sired by Inclusive. He is tag 165. Next in, we've got CNC Show Pigs, Austin Craig and Justin Copeland. We've got Slim on the stick here. We've got 166 is this one's tag. I think he ended up bringing a pair of litter mates and a litter that I know when I got there, the Telequal. He took me in that back barn or middle barn there. There we go. I got a litter I really want to show you. I've been excited about. They are out of Unrivaled, back on a heavy hitter True Color sow. This one's mom is a litter mate to Bases Loaded that they raised, that they sold a premium blend at the Kings of the Hill. I don't know how many boar prospects that CNC has sold this year. I think they're happy. I think they're happy. They've sold several Barrow prospects. This is another one, whether we sit him as a boar or a Barrow. I know Slim is proud of. Backed by a litter. I've said it 3 or 4 times. We don't show them by litter, but if you could have seen this litter in person, you'd say, let's close our eyes, grab one of them, and we're going to be confident. We know that CNC's pigs are always stout. They're always dense and burly. This one exemplifies that, but he's got one classy look up front, the right length of body, the right rib cage. Again, how many pigs have we seen out of Unrivaled that looks like they can get along? CNC brings another one right here, tag 166. Like I said, littermate comes in. These are the 64 litter pigs here, unrivaled. Back on littermate to bases loaded here is what their pedigree reads. This is a true belted Hampshire classifying littermate to that last one that we had. Again, he's tag 167, 167. CNC, this one in comparison, maybe has shot longer bodied and brings more length of hip even. I love how backwards his blade and forearm sets in him. That allows him to push and go and be so comfortable. We already talked about how stout CNCs always are. This one's maturity pattern looks like you can hammer down and make him a big one there for sure. Get down here for an immature kind of a pig. His forerib design is incredibly good, tying into his shoulder blade there. I like this pig a lot. Again, he's got that modern hair, modern density of hair coat, skin pigment that just is an added value in the Barrow ring. Again, he's sired by Unrivaled. CNC's second one is a littermate to the first one. This one's tag is 167. Todd Show Pigs comes in, and their leadoff that Gary brings us is tag 168. 168 is going to be a spotted boar pig. He's out of Waxahachie. Waxahachie on a party animal sow. Littermate sold for $11,000 on Thursday at the she seal sale. A littermate to this one right here. Regardless of crossbred, regardless of breed, we know that Gary Todd's going to be very competitive there. And I tell you what, Poland's and spots this fall or the last couple seasons have been incredible. He says this is their best spot male pig this fall. The mom came from Sly last year. I don't remember exactly. I know she was a high seller there that Daniel raised, that Gary bought, and she was one impressive individual there. And this boar pig, I think, will feed for sure. They're out of Waxahachie. I believe G2 raised that boar. They house him there at Gary Todd's. Incredible way to kick off Todd Show Pigs offerings here. Spot boar pig tag 168. I said regardless of breed, and then also there we talk about the crossbred ring. There we talked about still raising Wild Time, but Todd's we're the owner of Wild Time, the seller of Wild Time, and also the breeder of the grand champion at OYE last year, as well as the reserve grand champion at San Antonio that were sired by Wild Time. And this happens to be a Wild Time sired gilt back on a gangster sow. This is a full sib. Absolutely good. Same mating, full sib to the reserve Grand Barrow at San Antonio. It doesn't matter what that pig cost as a baby, but he wasn't real expensive. I know. I saw this litter. I've been able to go to Gary's probably half a dozen times this fall, as well as 3 or 4 times this past fall. There, I'm going to tell you, Wild Time. Gary Todd's pigs, do not be scared that this is a very green made kind of a gilt. This is what they look like there that surprised everybody, that made you look like a hero. In fact, that grand champion at OIE sold online, and if I'm not wrong, he was the cheapest pig in that extremely high dollar litter there, and ended up winning OIE. I can tell you, she's green, but have some faith in him. Wild Time Gangster, Todd Show Pigs is this one. This female right here, she is tag 169. That's going to conclude our preview here. I really do appreciate, again, an event there that everybody looks forward to. I know Mark and Jenna spend a year to put together. Very impressed with the set of pigs. We all want to thank the consigners there for coming, saving back ones. We don't have as many as we typically have, but I think the depth of quality is incredible. Again, thanks to them. Thanks to the buyers that put faith into things there. And I'll let Mark talk there, but awesome job by each one and thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you, Kelton. Good job as always. We will start at 7 o'clock. That's 20 minutes away. We're going to flip these chairs around. Got a few housekeeping things we're going to do. Christy's set up in the back. We do the number system. Christy is set up in the back. Be sure to register for a buyer's number. If you're online, be sure you're registered online there. We will start at 7 o'clock. So breeders, 20 minutes away. We do have a food truck out here. Great Mexican food out there. If you're hungry, there's drinks and stuff here on the other side of the banner or under the Welcome the King's banner there. Feel free to grab what you want. We're going to flip these chairs and we will be ready to go in 20 minutes.